Imagine finding out that your entire existence, your inheritance, your family history, even the identity of your biological father is basically one giant, messy lie wrapped in a crispy French baguette. That is exactly the chaotic reality facing the Trun siblings in the family recipe. A story that starts with greed and ends with a gut punch of emotional healing. We open in the sweltering heat of Houston, Texas, where Duc Trần, the eccentric patriarch and owner of the Duck's Sandwiches Empire, has summoned his 5 estranged children. You have Jude, the fresh prince of Bel-Air, an only son who thinks he's the heir apparent. Jane, the eldest daughter carrying the weight of the world. Bingo, the rage-filled middle child. Paulina, the icy corporate climber. And Georgia, the youngest, who literally lives in a van. Here's the kicker. Duck isn't even there. Instead, his shady lawyer best friend, Mr. Nungo, hands them a posthumous-style letter, even though Duke is very much alive, outlining a twisted inheritance game. If they want the millions, they have to jump through hoops. Jude has to get married within the year. The daughters, they each inherit one failing sandwich franchise in a different city. Jane in Houston, Bingo in Philly, Paulina in San Jose, and Georgia in New Orleans. And they have to make them profitable. Oh, and their mother, Evelyn? She walked out on the family 20 years ago and hasn't been seen since. Talk about abandonment issues. So the siblings scatter like seeds in the wind. In Houston, Jane tries to gentrify the original shop, plastering fake happy family photos on the walls while reconnecting with Henry, her high school sweetheart, who reminds her of a simpler time. In Philly, Bingo is literally tearing the shop apart with rage until she meets Iris, a cool biker chef who makes her realize she's terrified of love. In San Jose, Paulina tries to automate the shop with robots that, I kid you not, start pelting sandwiches at customers, all while she discovers her ex, Oliver, is now a happy dad, shattering her cool girl facade. But the real tea is in New Orleans. Georgia, sweet, naive Georgia, actually finds their missing mother, Evelyn, selling food at a market. Evelyn is living a quiet life, hiding from her past, and this is where the story takes a dark, heartbreaking turn. We get flashbacks to 1980s Seadrift, Texas. It turns out Duke isn't their biological father. Their real dad was a man named Tuan, a fisherman who loved Evelyn desperately. Back then, racial tensions were exploding between local white fishermen and Vietnamese refugees. The KKK was literally patrolling the waters, threatening to kill them. In a tragic twist, Tuan disappeared during a confrontation on a boat, presumed dead to save his friends. Duck and Huey, that's Mr. Ngo. This revelation changes everything. Duck and Mr. Ngo spent their entire lives pretending to be the father and uncle to protect these kids and Evelyn from the trauma of that night. When the siblings figure out the timeline doesn't match up, the group chat blows up for the first time in history. They realize they've been played. Meanwhile, in New Orleans, Connie, Duck's current gold-digging young wife, tracks down Georgia and Evelyn, demanding to know where Duke is hiding the money. In a moment of absolute badassery, Evelyn lights a match and burns the cursed sandwich shop to the ground. I mean, literally torches the place. She's done running. The siblings, now united by confusion and rage, decide to fly to Vietnam to confront Duck, who is rumored to be hiding in a monastery. They drag their emotional baggage across the ocean, and that's expecting a holy intervention. Instead, they find Duc and Mr. Ngo drunk in an alley in Saigon, eating snails and living their best lives. And here's the massive, heartbreaking twist. There is no money. The inheritance game was a sham. Duc is broke. He gave them the shops because that's literally all he had left. He wanted to force them to find their own way because he knew he failed them as a father figure. The confrontation is intense. Evelyn finally steps out of the shadows, reuniting with the men who saved her but also lied to her for decades. She demands the truth about Tuan. They admit it was an accident. He fell overboard because he was drunk and they were too scared to save him. It wasn't a heroic sacrifice, it was just a tragedy. This shatters the myth they built their lives on, but strangely, it heals them. They realize that family isn't about blood or money. It's about the messy people who showed up when the world was literally on fire. In the end, the inheritance wasn't the cash, it was the truth. Jane stops running from happiness. Bingo learns to let people in. Paulina realizes she can't automate a soul. Jude stops trying to be a fake patriarch. And Georgia, she finally knows where she comes from. Evelyn reclaims her real name Dip, shedding the identity of the sad runaway mother. The movie ends with the whole dysfunctionally beautiful clan sitting on a riverbank in Vietnam, eating snails, bickering, and finally truly breaking bread together. It's a wild ride about how trauma ripples through generations, but so does love. If you love this recap, smash that like button, drop a comment on which sibling you identify with,